Hey, what is up, guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. We have a sort of a developing story here, and some things are not adding up. So there's been a few reports here, most of them with the same title or something similar to it, with regards to how a meteor, or what they're calling a meteor, has just hit and made ground impact near a U.S. military base, and the Air Force is remaining silent about it. And so, according to the information here, this happened last month, where a meteor, or again, what they're calling, or what they're saying was a meteor, an object, hit the Earth and exploded with a force of 2.1 kilotons. Now, how much force is 2.1 kilotons? Well, it equals and releases about as much energy as around 2,000 tons of TNT. And so NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory confirmed an object of an unspecified size traveling at around 24.4 kilometers per second struck the Earth in Greenland, just 43 kilometers north of an early missile warning Thule Air Base on July 25th of this year. So, this was just about a week and a half ago. And apparently the object and its release of energy when it hit the Earth was so big, apparently, that even people from NASA, as well as the director of the Nuclear Information Project for the Federation of American Scientists, by the name of Hans Christensen, tweeted about the impact. And you're seeing that tweet here, where he writes, quote, "Meteor explodes with 2.1 kilotons force, 43 kilometers above missile early warning radar. Obviously, we're still here, so they correctly concluded that it was not a Russian strike, but basically that it's very concerning that there was no public warning from the U.S. government about the incident, saying, quote, had it entered a more perpendicular angle, it would have struck the Earth with significantly greater force." Mr. Christensen points to the example of the Chelyabinsk meteor, which was a 20-meter space rock that exploded in the air over Russia without warning on the 15th of February in 2013. It was the size of a house, brighter than the sun, and visible up to 100 kilometers away. Now, in that event, about 1,500 people were hurt by glass from the windows smashing out of their homes or other effects of the meteor's impact as it crashed to Earth, the biggest known human toll from a space rock ever. And it drew widespread attention, as it should. And so this is basically a cosmic wake-up call, if you will. And while it's no secret that Earth gets hit by meteorites every single day, we're struck every 13 days over a 20-year period, with most breaking apart up in the atmosphere and are pretty much harmless. But as I've been documenting on the channel the past couple of years, we've been seeing more and more of these bright flashes in the sky, to the point where they're shaking houses. People hear what sound like sonic booms, and these things are getting closer and closer to actually touching ground. And so the big question is, why is the Air Force continually silent about this? Why are they remaining quiet about what has happened here? Is it because this wasn't a meteor at all? Is it because this was some sort of secret test? I mean, it stands to question why, if there was nothing to hide, would they remain quiet about it and not just put out a statement saying, yeah, a meteor came near our base, it was very close, and, luckily everything was fine. But they're not even doing that, and that is what has raised suspicion. So you guys tell me what you think of this down below. Now, speaking of just some mysterious things happening around the world, I also have some UFO sightings, but I'll probably save those for the next video because I want to get to these other news topics today. The first of which, we've been talking recently about our oceans and how people have been waking up to their beaches completely drained of water, with no apparent reason as to why the water has disappeared. We've also heard and detected strange energies picked up on the various buoys that we have out there floating, collecting data. And now we have another really strange story where it appears that some sort of smell has been coming up from the ocean off of the coast of San Diego, to the point where, the local mainstream news is involved. almost as if the ocean is releasing something. It's releasing gas of some sort, and they're really trying to figure out what it could be gassing out. It's called outgassing, basically. And so before we go any further, go ahead and check out this news clip.
A flood of phone calls from all around the county tonight to 911 call centers and to the 10 newsroom about a foul smell making people sick. The smell reportedly rolled off the ocean, but one woman that we talked to said that it left more than just an odor.
And 10 News reporter Preston Phillips is live in Cardiff tonight with what she says dripped all over her car. Preston.
And Steve, that nauseating gas-like odor filled the Cardiff Library here within minutes. It was eventually evacuated, and one woman who was inside at the time tells us tonight she's convinced it was gas that was dispersing some kind of oil component. Lifeguards in Encinitas were first to report the strong, pungent odor around 5 p.m., described as a gas-like smell rolling in off the ocean. Soon after, 10 News was flooded with calls. Residents from the coast all the way to Rancho Bernardo and 4S Ranch experiencing the smell, some complaining of headaches and outdoor activities being canceled. This Del Mar resident who didn't want us to use her name was inside the Cardiff Library around 5 p.m. when the gas-like odor filled the entire building with the doors closed.
There was none when I walked in that door, and within 10 minutes the entire library was filled.
Eventually, she got in her car and drove to try and get away from the smell. Around 5:30, she parked at San Diego Park and took this picture of what she believes is some kind of aerosol compound she says fell from the sky, coating her windows, as you can clearly see here.
And I tried to wipe it, and it was black and sticky, and tried to put my window down, and it smeared.
She feels what happened today was no accident and wants the people responsible to answer up.
And it's just not acceptable to say, oh, we don't know, nobody knows, la la la, which we've heard over the years, time and time and time again when these things happen.
And she, of course, believes the smell was gas. The city of Solana Beach, however, feels otherwise. Just a few minutes ago, they released a statement that reads, "Please do not be alarmed. The apparent smell of gas reported from Oceanside to La Jolla is not a leak of gas. The smell is caused by a natural occurring condition from the ocean." That's the latest for now. We're reporting live from Cardiff. Preston Phillips, 10 News.
Okay, so, naturally occurring condition that happens in our ocean. So apparently, this is something called outgassing, where the ocean releases this gas, but the big question is what is this gas, and why is the ocean suddenly releasing it to the point where it's getting people sick, causing headaches? People are wiping their homes or their mouths and seeing this black stuff, on their handkerchief or their paper towel, whatever they used. This is not normal. And, it makes me wonder, there's been a ton of theories about this. Some of the more out there theories were, well, this is gas coming from some sort of secret underwater base that's off the coast of California. Now, certainly, we've done videos in the past where it would show, or it would seem to show, some very anomalous-looking artificial-like structures right off the coast of Malibu and other areas around Southern California, things that look sort of like bases dug in to the edge of the coast. Some other theories are that this could be from some sort of underground volcano. That's another big one. Maybe an unknown volcano that is suddenly releasing gas or waking up, whatever you want to call it, but something here is certainly happening, and I'm going to keep my eye on this story. I know we got fans out there where this is happening, so have you smelled this foul odor that's rolling across the country, as they've said here, and what are your thoughts on it? What could it be? There's just some strange stuff happening with our oceans, guys. We know for a fact that a recent study in 2017 showed us that our oceans are actually losing oxygen just as they did some 94 million years ago, which may be a reason for one of the other anomalous stories that we, it seems like we're posting on this every other week or month about the thousands, sometimes millions of fish that are washing up upon shores all over the world with no sign of what happened to them, what could have caused them to, well, end up cold on the coast along with thousands of other fish. Something's happening to the wildlife in the ocean. And this recent study shows that the ocean has been losing oxygen in recent decades. Globally, scientists can measure oxygen levels in the ocean, and evidence points to a 2% decrease in the past 50 years. And while that may seem small to you, there is a ripple effect that can alter ecosystems. And this is very concerning for what lies ahead. And as well, history is a glimpse into the future. Because approximately 94 million years ago, there was a well-documented oceanic anoxic event, whereby large swaths of oceans were devoid of oxygen. And these anoxic events are a key source of oil and gas around the world. And when this happens, it has a major ripple effect toward all of the other ecosystems and the way the ocean breaks down bacteria. I mean, the ocean just falls apart and the life starts to disappear. So what could be causing this now, today? Well, some say global warming. Others say that it's an increase in fertilizer use in order to produce higher crop yields, which then runs off into our waterways and eventually makes its way to the ocean. And so again, back to this story off the coast of California, as I said before, we'll keep updates on it. And one last story before we go, speaking of water, strange things happening around waters, here we have another story out of Melvindale, Detroit, where they have been dealing with what they've called this strange bubbling foam that has been coming flooding up out of gutters around the entire city. And nobody can seem to figure out what it is. So check out this clip.
Folks downriver are wondering if this mysterious substance bubbling out of the ground is caused by tonight's rain.
It is oozing onto the street, and as the night cam's Tim Pamplin reports, no one's sure what it is.
An awful, stinky, bubbly, foamy mess erupting out of the ground early tonight along Schaefer Highway here near the Marathon Oil Refinery. Let's roll the tape. There we go. That's a video from about 9 o'clock this evening. There you see it. Now, Marathon tells Melvindale Police it's nothing to do with them. Melvindale Police say this happened last week. They brought out some street sweepers and sweeped it up. Well, this time they brought out some inspectors. This chap, I'm being told, is from the Detroit Water and Sewage Department. He was here for a few minutes and then this word came down.
They want the whole road shut down right now until we can figure out exactly what's going on.
Now this all started bubbling up earlier in the evening during one of the torrential downpours. Michigan Department of Environmental Quality, again, are apprised of the situation. We're waiting to see what they think about all of this.
Okay, so as you just saw, a smelly, foamy mess erupting out of the ground along the highway. Roads are being shut down. The police say the substance has nothing to do with the refinery in the area. Apparently it happened the week before. They were able to clean it up. This time inspectors were called to the scene, and while there very well may be a more human cause to this, I definitely thought it worth mentioning in regards and connection to our last story. So with that, you guys tell me what you think about everything today. I'm going to see what else I can find about what happened regarding this meteor and why the Air Force is staying quiet. So you guys stay tuned for updates. I've got another video in the works featuring some new UFO sightings, multiple sightings in fact, along with some other very juicy material that we're going to break here on the channel. So stay tuned. Make sure you click that notification bell next to the subscribe button and turn on notifications, or follow me on Twitter where I constantly post when I'm working on a new video and when the new video is going to be up. Links are down below. You guys have a great rest of your night. Stay safe, and I'll see you back in just a bit.